So the video you're about to see is me quilting this quilt and the process of quilting this quilt. And it was one of those impromptu videos like I made last year. But the problem is the audio was not on. I didn't have my microphone on for whatever reason, or turned on or whatever. So the first few minutes is really bad audio. And I almost decided not to post this, but I also think that it's a really good depiction of my process of quilting. I'm not great at it, which I talk about. I'm learning, and I think this will help you as a viewer learn that we all struggle and just kind of have something to relate to. So that's why I'm putting it out there, even though the audio is bad in the beginning. Really bad. So I hope you stick with it, and I promise it gets better. I think it's like 4 minutes in, so I hope you enjoy it, and here you go. Hi everyone, this is kind of a last minute video. I have no planning in this. My husband's out mowing, so you can hear some background noise, and my dog is in the other room snoring. But I thought I'd take you along on my journey of learning how to machine quilt. I've been doing it for a while. I just do walking foot quilting. It's not free motion. I tried that. I'm not great at that, but maybe someday. I use the book Walk. I'll put a picture of it right here. And I'm trying a double wave. So it's going to be like a crosshatch wave. The quilt I'm doing is this one. This is a scrappy log cabin quilt. I do have a tutorial for this block. And I'm sitting here quilting it, and I thought, you know what, maybe that it will help other people, especially if you're starting out, because I'm at the uncomfortable stage of this. I drew my wavy line like the book says, and I didn't stay on it, and then I'm just shadowing that line, so I'm going up against it. And it's very awkward and weird looking right now. I also had trouble with my thread and just all kinds of issues. And I'm gonna keep going and trust the process. But in this video, I thought I'd give you a few little tips that I've learned, and maybe it'll help you. And like I said, this is totally unplanned, so bear with me. It might be a little unorganized. The first thing that I have learned is to use a big stitch. So my machine is set at 3.8. Did put a new needle in. I cleaned my machine. I have my walking foot on. I have my space set up, so I have my ironing board here that can hold some of the weight. I have a table over here, and I'm kind of situated in a comfortable position. I also have my gloves. These are, let's see, I got these at a quilt show. Grab-a-roos. I really like these. They do get snagged sometimes, but I do like them. Now for basting, I use a pin basting method. It's my favorite method. There are tons of ways. You could spray baste, you can glue baste, you could, I don't know, do all kinds of stuff. For me, pin basting is best. It's easy, it's quick, and it's fun for me. It's very relaxing. And I'll baste, well, depending on the batting that I use, this is a 60-40 Hobbs batting. But depending on the batting I use, it will tell you on the package how far apart to baste, usually, I think. But usually it's a hand width is what I do. And I don't start in the middle, I start on the edge, I tape down the backing, and I float the batting on top, and then have a well-pressed quilt top on top of that. So the backing is right side or pretty side down, the batting has a right or wrong side too, but to me, you're quilting it, right? So who cares if it's right or wrong because you're quilting it? I don't know, to me that never made sense because both sides are going to be quilted. But whatever, there is a right or wrong side to it. I don't really pay attention to that, but I know some people who really do. And as I'm quilting, there are a few things that I've learned. So when I'm adjusting it, because I'm doing a wave, when I'm adjusting my machine or my fabric, I do get these little dits. So I try to do any adjusting in a dark fabric because then it's not noticeable. Now, here's the disclaimer. I am just learning. I'm sure there are ways around this and different techniques and all that stuff, but for me, this is what's working. Another thing that I ran into as a problem is my pins. As I'm taking the pins out, I had no place to put them, so I find myself stacking them different places, and then I knock them over or I bump them. So what I decided to do was just take a bucket. This came from the Dollar Tree many years ago. It's my trash bucket. And as I take the pins out, they get dropped right into this. Now I have a bucket like this because I have a dog who loves metal for some reason. So I don't want her getting in here. Now, right now she's out of the room, again, snoring in the other room, but you do want to be cautious of that if you have young children or anybody that could get into this. But as I'm sewing, I just drop them in. Oh, what else? What else? Oh, trusting the process. So, like I said, I drew the wavy line and I'm not following it, and that's okay because it was just a guide, and I use a invisible or air erase marker here. It's this one. This is the sew line. I like this. This will disappear within a few hours. It just depends on the humidity, so be aware of that. I do like it though. So I'm just gonna keep quilting it. Like I said, I'm at this awkward stage where it's messy and it doesn't look even, but I have a few quilting experiences under my belt, and I know it's always awkward at this point. But this is the point that maybe a year or two ago I would have given up, but I'm just going to keep going. So I'm going to keep doing that gentle curve, and yeah, hopefully you come along with me. Let's do it. Oh, another thing, and I haven't done this yet, but put your earphones in. I have my AirPods here, and listen to a podcast or music or something that just loosens you up and kind of gets your mind out of like being perfect with this. That always helps me. Now, because I'm making this video right now, I'm not going to do that, but as I get further into this quilt, I absolutely will. So I'm just doing a slight curve. And again, I have to adjust, so I'm leaving it in a dark fabric. And I'm using the side of my presser foot as my guide, but you can already see this is looking much better than it did. I'm going to take this pin out and drop it into my bucket. So I'm doing this, and it kind of looks like it was a mistake, that my spacing was off. I'm going to keep trusting the process. I do have to say I like the waves a little bit further apart. So I was thinking I could even go in and where it's densely quilted, I could take out every other row of stitches if I wanted to, and then go back to the original plan and do the diagonal the other way. I don't know. I'm going to keep going, trust the process, and hopefully figure this out. But this is part of my process of quilting, right or wrong. It's kind of like going with my gut and learning from my mistakes and all of that. All right, I'm gonna keep going. So change of plan. So I was gonna originally do a crosshatch that was in this book, and it was gonna be a wavy crosshatch. If you have the book, it's on page 47. I think I can put a picture of just what I'm talking about without the instructions here. And I made the swirls too close together. So as I was quilting this, I had a change of plans. I decided I'm going to have them real close together in the middle, and then I'm going to spread them out further and further as I get to the edge. Now I don't want to go more than like a 2-inch interval, so I need to keep that in mind. I figure if it doesn't work out, I can always go back and fill in, and then I'm just going to keep it going in one direction. I've done the curved on a diagonal before, so I really wanted to push myself to do something else. Now to do this, and I've never done this before, so we'll see how it works out. I'm going to just lay this out, and then I'm going to mark, I think, 1 inch, and then I'll go a little bit like 1.5, and I'll just mark those lines so I can then quilt on them. I'm going to keep it curvy, but I want to have at least a guideline of where I'm going with it. So I'm going to do that now. It's all about adjusting. All right, I'm going to go quilt that. Let's see, should I go about even more? Let's see how this goes. It's done. I don't love it. It looks like I messed up the spacing. So I'm going to go back to plan A. And what I'm going to do is where it's densely quilted, I'm going to remove every other line or so and make it look even, and then go back and cross hatch the curvy lines like I wanted to in the beginning and mess that up. All right, so time to use the old seam ripper. I just can't win. So I think the audio is good now, but my neighbor is doing something outside that sounds really, really loud. Hopefully I'll be able to take care of that with editing and, you know, all the magic you can do through that. But at least the dog's not snoring. Okay, I have it finished. I got it all done. Now, seam ripping out those lines was a lot. It took me hours upon hours. I even had my husband working on it a little bit because it was driving me crazy. Unsewing is a lot harder than sewing, or quilting, I should say. It's not like you can just run the seam ripper through it. But it is done. Is it exactly like this picture? No. But it's still really cool. I love how it shows a wave on both ways, going both ways. It just is a nod to a flag and being a patriotic quilt. That just makes my heart happy. I love how it turned out. Even with some of the imperfections, even with some of the issues I had, I think it is great. And I learned so much too, and I hope you did too, because that's what this was all about. So I'm in the process of binding it, as you can see, and yeah, it's almost done. It'll be ready for the 4th of July, which I love, and I'll have it out in my house. It's also super soft. I do love machine quilting, and that's one of the things I really do love about it, is it does seem to be a little softer than when I send it out to be long-armed. And I also love the pride in doing it myself. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got to see the real behind the scenes. Of course, I always try to keep it real, but this gives you a point of view of my struggles, me saying trust the process. I didn't always trust the process, I have to admit. And the process kind of let me down, but then I got back on track with the process. And it just goes back to sometimes we have a plan in our head that doesn't quite turn out. And as we grow as quilters, we start to learn to trust our instincts and to know, okay, this isn't going to work. We're going to try something else. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you take some time to sew. I'll see you real soon. Bye.